Hello boys and girls, Ultimate Hero here. Welcome to It's Been a Long Time. Let's discuss. Now then, you know I only bring up of either recent topics, basically kind of like YouTube discussion, since this might be one of the first in a long time, if not the first of this whole year. So just in case, Let's Discuss is kind of like the replacement of YouTube discussion, where instead I'll talk about subjects I've always just wanted to talk about at random points. These are almost like filler. Which, by the way, I do need to make an apology for those, because I haven't uploaded a lot of Coliseum, even though I should be. By the time I keep getting to it, I uploaded one actually just right now. Except for some reason, when I uploaded the video, it uploaded abnormally quick. So I checked why, and apparently it only recorded the audio, or it only rendered the audio. The video is completely gone. So, as bullshit as it is, I'm gonna re-render it overnight perhaps, and then there we go. It's a shorter episode anyway, so it shouldn't take too long, but that's beside the point. So I usually talk about recent subjects, like subjects as they're happening right now, or subjects I just always wanted to talk about, i.e. Tsunami, which that was a long time ago. That was actually perhaps my most successful one. Anyway, we have a subject which, in case you can't read the description or the title, it is about the Content ID. If you don't know what Content ID is, it is something from Nintendo. Nintendo basically will flag, if you're a partner and you make money off of videos and your videos happen to be Nintendo content, any Nintendo game whatsoever, they can have the right, apparently, to say you can't make money off of it. You don't have to take it down, except you're not going to get money off of it. So you're basically a non-partner. You just have the ability, you just have some partner benefits, but you practically can make more money off of making update videos rather than making videos themselves, or regular gaming videos. So to those who are stuck or who do nothing but make Nintendo games or Nintendo game videos, examples are Chugga, Tim. Though Tim has some other games like Final Fantasy X, I think, so he's kind of excused. John, he did some hacks, so he might be fine, but he's got a job anyways, so who cares? Dala, I want to say Hayden too. Like, yeah, people like them, they're SOL. But, well, Hayden's got a job, so he's good too, but the partnership money just is nice to have. So, I'm here to argue about that stuff. Now to go about it, I'm not partnered, so you might be wondering, why the fuck should I care? And really, I don't really give too much of a shit to bother. Like, I'm not gonna really go out of my way to make sure everybody gets their money back, or they get their partnership rights back, where they can get commentary, or they get paid for their commentary, which that's an argument I'm gonna be presenting later. I don't really see what's the point in doing this, because it's not like Nintendo themselves are going to be making the money if they cancel it. It's basically shooting themselves in the foot, because, okay, let's go over Nintendo's strategy right now. And this has been a trend, and Nintendo was the last one, but who would have thought they had some of the worst options? Remember, Microsoft and Sony had their big fuck-ups. Microsoft's was having their Xbox always be it has to be online all the time, or you cannot play any games. You can't even play a single player or a campaign. It has to be online still. You can barely turn on the console from what we're told, and they're not denying it, and I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. Especially, you can't really say it's a lie or a hoax with one of the former employees. Yes, I say former now, because he got his ass fired for this shit. I forget his name, but he's like, oh, you can't get online all the time? Deal with it. Something like that, but he did say deal with it. And because of that, even though he privatized his Twitter and and deleted the tweet, it was screenshotted and it was spread. Microsoft took no tolerance on this fucker and took him out. He's fired. He is, I believe, jobless. I don't know if he's got a job. But yeah, the fucker was just an arrogant rich person who was just telling people to fucking suck it up. But people like me can't have internet all the time, or you might have to have Wi-Fi only. But guess what? I have a wired internet connection. Unless they compromise for me, I don't know if I could be doing that. Which I'm not getting a new Xbox anyway, even if it was for Gears of War, which is a shame. Oh well. Anyway, next up we had Sony's big fuck up, which was them saying you can't play used games. Oh, that was another fuck up from Microsoft too. Microsoft has this thing. I don't know if I think it's been denied, but this was a strong rumor. In fact, I'm not sure if it's quite dead yet, but it's not talked about as much as it used to. this went to both sides. They would only they had this thing where if you had a new game and you put it in one console, it can only be accepted in that console only. In other words, you can't bring a game and go over to your friend's house. Like saying, "Hey, do you want to play the newest Call of Duty?" "Sure, let me get my game and I'll go over and play." You go over. "What's this? The game's not being accepted." "Oh, that's right, because the motherfuckers at Microsoft said, oh nope, one game, once it's put into that one console, it's going to be forever stuck in there. And if it's gone, you're SOL." Because they want to discourage the used game sales. Yeah, but they were doing it really wrong. Sony did something similar to this, except I believe they confirmed this thing. That games are not going to be strictly locked into one console. However, I don't think you can. It's not backwards compatible. But the reason why for that is because they want to make sure the price of the PS3 or PS4, is as low as can be. Which if you had reverse compatibility, it's going to cost more. Which I can understand that at least. But anyway, to Nintendo's fuck up, which, as you know, and they actually made one today, I believe. A Nintendo Direct just passed by. What are Nintendo Directs? They're meant to be streaming little things, so that way people here on the internet, they're trying to get people on the internet all around, because, let's put it this way, the internet is a very powerful tool if you can use it right. Oh, how powerful you can be. There are people who got power through the internet alone. And I hate to say their names, but you have some ideas. Let's say that those people or groups have made their own TV shows. You know who I'm looking at. May those fuckers die. I hate those shows because they're so obnoxious. Makes it worth not having cable in a sense, because then I don't have to watch the damn annoying orange show. How the hell did that get a TV show? I don't know to this day, and I never will, and I don't want to bother finding out why, because I hate that thing. I don't know why people like that thing. It's so rude and obnoxious. Anyway, back on the main subject. They had, if they could move Nintendo Direct in the right direction, they could have easily gotten the whole internet, or at least all the Nintendo fandom, all together, all united. They would have all been by their side. And if they did it right, they could hype up games even more, which would encourage sales. And oh, how beneficial that would have been. But now they've done that was the fuck up. We should have seen this coming. They were going to turn on the internet, the very weapon they need to have a chance at the current console wars, especially with the new generation about to begin. Because the Wii U is the first one to enter the fray, and now the new Xbox and the PlayStation 4 are going to join in, and then the next generation console war will begin. However, they have a head start right now, but they're starting to mess up that chance. And then they're going to likely slip and fall and be taken out of the war, pretty much. What they did, as I vaguely said it earlier, but let's go into a little more detail again. Let's just repeat it. Basically, if you're a partner, you can't get money from Nintendo-related content. Now, let's say for me, for example, let's say I'm a partner, which you all already know I'm not. Oh, it would be nice to be a partner, but I'm not going to go full-out effort on getting it. Anyway, let's say I'm a partner. Okay, how many Let's Plays do I have that are Nintendo games? Good question. Let's go find out. You know what? Let me give you the short answer. Every single Let's Play except for Persona 4. So, unlike most Let's Players, I have somewhat of a safety net. And I can't really tell you if my Let's Play of Persona 4 is really popular or not. I mean, my most popular Let's Play was by far Wind Waker. That was my most popular one, if I have to base it off of views. But then again, a lot of Let's Players right now have started to diminish because their view counts have dropped due to how the subscriptions work with YouTube. That is perhaps the strongest reason why views for everybody, not just me, have dropped. I've noticed a decline in everybody. It's really hard to get subscribed to it. So as a tip for you all, if you want to follow people, like specific people better, what you could do is you edit the subscription and have YouTube email you whenever the person you want to know whenever they uploads. So let's say I upload I was about to say Persona 4, but I'm done with that for now. Let's say I upload a Paper Mario video or a Pokemon video. It'll go to your email, and there you go. So there's a little tip of the day. Anyway, back on subject. Now then, we go to people like I said, Chuck Conroy or like Abdallah Smash. They do pretty much nothing but Nintendo games. And before you fanboys say, "Oh, but Suga has Okami," no, I have to say objection, because even though that's technically a game that was originally on the console, not of Nintendo's brand, that version is the Wii version, which, if I recall, last time I checked, and let me see my console. I don't see much of a Nintendo logo, but if I start the power, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see Nintendo somewhere on there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Wii belongs to Nintendo. Anyway, enough of the sarcastic jokes. To the point, the Wii version is still a Nintendo version. So, because he did that, therefore, they can probably get him for that. So basically, all his Let's Plays are gone, in terms of money making. And he's SOL. And mind you, Emil has been living off his partnership. He doesn't have a job. So yeah, that's that. And then you got other people who don't do anything that are like Nintendo games. Maybe got someone like KZX or Tales of Creed. Though Tales of Creed, what's he doing? The only Nintendo games he's done is Super Paper Mario and Link to the Past, I believe. So he's pretty much good. You get what I mean? Basically, instead of encouraging us to do this, Nintendo just pretty much shot themselves. They had 2 bullets left. So, being how they are, they had to shoot themselves at the foot, out of sheer stupidity. But because they knew we'd laugh, they decided, hey, I'm gonna shoot your foot too. Bam! And there you go. It's that if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me kind of shit. So, I'm gonna say bullshit on all this. Now then, to explain my arguments. And what really sparked this was just some comments I read on the Nintendo Direct. Because obviously people are going to be talking about this. Now then, I hate to be saying names, but to make sure that this thing makes sense, okay. This is a guy named Hoctadium111. This comment has received too many negative votes. Yes, it did. Anyway, this is what the guy says. Any way you see it, Nintendo is taking money for someone else's... Oh, actually, that's... Oh, yeah. It's taking money for someone else's work. Okay, I thought I read the haters for a second. Let me continue on. Sure, Nintendo owns part of it as well, which that is true, but they shouldn't take all of the revenue. The income of a few hundred is barely shit to them anyway, with a big of company they are. However, that's kind of not true, and I'll get to that later. Actually, we're going to break this down bit by bit, so I'll at least explain the count. No, I won't, actually. I'll get this done one argument, comment at a time. Anyway, LPERS want to entertain people, and the money allows them to produce more entertainment. They're not upset because of the money. They're upset about losing their hobby. Okay, now to that, I do have some counter-arguments. Some parts I'm going to explain, and then some parts I'm going to save until another comment is read. We got 3, so don't worry. It's not like I have 500 of these. Oh, I wouldn't be even doing that I wouldn't be making this video if that's the case. And I'm gonna apologize if this goes on quite long. So forgive me in advance. Anyway, let's break it down. Nintendo is taking money for someone else's work. Technically, that's true. And I explained this in the comments, so let's not bother with that one. I explained that in my own comment that I put. Nintendo owns part of it as well. Yes, they do. They own the game. They made the game. We own only the physical disc. They own the game itself. Which, I don't think it takes a super genius to figure that out. So, next up, the income of a few hundred is barely shit to them anyway. Logically speaking, 100 won't make a difference in saving the company if it were in bankruptcy. However, to say they're a big of a company, that is not true. If you're comparing them alone, perhaps yes, they are. I mean, they own a fucking sports team. I think it's one of the Seattle teams. Anyway, compared to Sony and Microsoft, let's look at Sony and let's look at Microsoft again. Sony has TVs. They make TVs, DVDs, HD DVD players, or Blu-rays as they are called now. So they got something else to rely on. That's their main thing. Games are to the side. When you think as a whole company, games are to the side. Well, I don't mean like they're tossed aside like a minor thing. It is pretty major, but compared to everything else, it's not as big. Anyway, then let's go to Microsoft. What does Microsoft do? Rather, what doesn't Microsoft do? Microsoft makes they don't make TVs like Sony. However, they make something even more important than that nowadays. That is more important to us nowadays. Computers. I mean, come on, look at how many different brands they have. They have Dell, Alienware, that's just to name a couple right there. They have a strong input for computers. Hence why the Xboxes kind of look like computer towers. Anyway, so as you see, those companies have something else to fall on. Nintendo doesn't. Nintendo is strictly a gaming company. And they're not that big compared to the other two. So, to say 100 might help, but that's just to get to that part. Now let's go to the second comment. This is the one that really sparked it for me. This is from GooGam32. No! Everything you just typed, you got backwards! Let's Players are taking money from a company who spends years of research, development, hard work, and dedication to make the best product they can. Nintendo owns every bit of data in those games. LPERS don't care about entertaining the people who watch them. They only want to get money by doing something others do for free. Besides, you can still watch them, they just don't get paid for them. Now then, normally I wouldn't really care about this, but just a lot of things there really rubbed me the wrong way, and I couldn't help to reply to that. So, shall I break this down bit by bit? Well, I pretty much counter-argue it in the next comment, so I guess I may as well go. Wait, is there anything I don't really... Actually, let's just read it all again. Everything you just typed, you got backwards. That's not really something that matters here. Let's Players are taking money from a company who spends years of research, development, hard work, and dedication to make the best product they can. Notice how I put acting in there, because I was being such a dick. I'm such a sassy motherfucker, it's not even funny. Anyway. Yes, that is all true. They did spend years of research, development, hard work, and dedication. Which, dedication is just there to sweeten up the phrase. Whether it's dedication or not, we won't know until we ask them, but we can assume they were, obviously. Because if they weren't, and if it was an actual good game, it's like, how the fuck... Imagine how good it would be if they actually tried. Anyway, well, that's how it was with Majora's Mask, for example. They didn't really try in that one. That was just a joke. Anyway. Yes, that's all true. However, then it gets bullshit there, but I actually say this in the comments. So let's just go to my comment. I am an LPer, and I don't really care about partnerships, so this thing doesn't affect me. However, to say that all LPers don't care about entertaining people is a display of ignorance. I hate to sound rude, but there's no need for hostility among them. Your logic holds some water to it, but not completely justifiable. LPers get paid for their expression, which is something Nintendo cannot own. They're getting paid for the commentary on the game, not for playing the game. There's a big difference. Now then, I pretty much countered everything they said. Now I'll break down what I said. Yes, it doesn't bother me, that's the obvious part. Now to say all LPers don't do it for entertainment, that is depending on the Let's Player. Because Let's Playing, you can say it's like something like, let's say, why do people fight? Why do people do the thing they do? People do things for various reasons. We all do everything out of self-interest. What's in it for me? Why do I want to do this thing? Some people, let's go like something simple like, why are you fighting the army? Some people fight because they want to protect their families back at home. But from over there. To get, yeah, it's kind of stupid, but it makes sense at the same time. They want to protect their family. They just want to fight because they just want to. They want to have some. They want to make some money out of this. Maybe, or just sheer bloodlust. You get what I mean? The reasons vary, and the reasons vary for Let's Players. Some do want to do it for people's entertainment. Some want to do it for their own entertainment. Some have that goal of just wanting to make money. And then there's people like me. Well, me, I just wanted it, as I've already mentioned many times, the reason why I Let's Play is because I just wanted to make some more friends here. I wanted to meet some people. And I was able to entertain people along the way. So to say I'm doing it to entertain people is a lie out of me. So it makes me sound like a bit of a hypocrite. But I'm not speaking for myself in that comment. I'm speaking more for my friends who do actually do this for entertainment. So my reason is bullshit compared to that, but there are people who do want to do it entertaining. So to say that every single Let's Player, even though he or she didn't say all, it is very strongly implied, because you didn't say some, you didn't say all, you didn't say a few, you didn't say a bunch, you didn't put anything so there. So the best thing to assume is all, logically. So, as I said, logic holds some water, but it's not completely justifiable. What Nintendo's doing is is pretty much the wrong thing to do. If they want to get a share or a cut, it's not that bad of a deal. It's fair. It makes sense, but I don't see a reason to take all of it. And further, it's like saying, your commentary is useless to me. I am a big company. You can't do this. Ah! Copyright. I win. There. Now then. So, as I've already said at the end, they're getting paid for commentary on the game. Or on the game, not playing the game. We're not getting paid, or by we, I mean the people that are partnered, not me, because obviously I'm not. Wonder if I got a comment by that guy. Oh, no, I did. Never mind, I got a comment on something else. I thought I got a comment back from that guy that I replied to. Anyway. Now that we're done with all that, I'm going to basically explain some things that are for and, I guess, against. But it's just true ignorance on the matter of what this is. Now, to say that Let's Players are out to steal, like that guy is implying, that's basically a very, very strong knee-jerk reaction to the whole thing. I'm going to say that the guy has barely any knowledge of what a Let's Player is and probably only watches one Let's Player like Chuck Conroy. And that's it. Doesn't watch any of it. So, the reason why this guy is really against it, likely because he doesn't connect to people on an emotional level like I do, because like I said, I'm friends with Let's Players, hence why I'm actually defending them. If I didn't, I'd probably be in that guy's situation now that I think about it. Well, maybe not, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I'm technically on the neutral side, but I'm at least gonna defend my friends that are doing it for entertainment purposes. As for those who actually do it for the sake of money, fuck you. But you know what? What you're doing, your reason isn't bad. I just don't like it. There's a difference. You're not a bad. We all have a right to like a dislike, but just fuck you. But I do respect why you want to be by you. Let's play. Yes, even PewDiePie, even him. Anyway, as I had a little talk with Flares before I actually recorded this. The reason why these people are against it is likely because they're biased towards Nintendo, because they might be the likely thought process I'm theorizing is that if they don't get this money from the Let's Players that the Let's Players are stealing from them, they're not going to get money. And without that extra bit of money, they might not be able to make better games. Yeah, that's the likely logic. That's at least the logic I'm thinking of. But it's as Flares said. I'm reading this from Flares, by the way, so here I'm quoting him. Because it's unjustified for Nintendo's actions, whereas our actions have been unjustified for a matter of 5 to 8 years, depending on whether we're talking about LPs in general. Though I'm talking about general and video Let's Plays. But, as I've said, we get paid for expression, which is something Nintendo cannot own. We're getting paid for the commentary on the game, not for the game, as I said many times. But, as Flares put it, no Let's Player actually does deserve the money. Yeah, and I agree. I don't think anybody deserves partnership, but if they get it, I don't see why you should take it away from them. Like, you give a kid a candy. Like, let's say you get him a chocolate bar. He eats half of it, and then you say, you know what, I'm taking it back. And then you just rom chom, you eat it right away. Yeah, it's like, yeah, see how that feels. I'm taking it back. Fuck you. That's a simple analogy, but it makes sense. I hope you guys understand that. It's kind of like, it's as I said, but we've had partnership for about 2 years now, and then Nintendo said, let's just take it away. Take it away. Fuck you. You're not getting your money. But it's a double-edged blade, as Flares said. It's like, I'm aware of that, so you got to counter your own counter arguments. But anyway, now I'm starting to trail off. This might be a sign I should start packing it up soon. But really, in conclusion, there's really no need to do this, and it's really going up against the community. And the reason why it's not being a big deal as it really is, as it should be, is because the community is not that big compared to the rest of the freaking internet, obviously, or the whole Nintendo community, because I don't think a lot of the Nintendo community is like that. And you know what's bullshit about this? I could swear, like a month before or after PAX, Nintendo's Twitter actually gave a shout out to the Runaway guys. I remember seeing this tweet as it happened, and I was like, what the hell? How the hell did Nintendo do this? So, at first I thought, hey, Nintendo seems to be supporting Let's Plays, but now the fact that they just pull a complete 180, and then, no, they pretty much it goes even worse. I think they pretty much go like a 480. They spin around once, and then do a 180. Or no, whatever I'm looking for. Whatever number I'm looking for. Actually, wouldn't it be 360 plus 180? Wouldn't that be 540? I think. Well, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. They pretty much do pull a 180 on us and then just say, no, Let's Plays are bad. We're taking away your money. We're going to put content ID and we're not going to delete your videos, but you're not going to get paid for them. And there's nothing you can do about it because we own the games. However, we're not getting paid for your games. We're getting paid for the commentary. Jesus, as a company, I would expect them to know this. It's something completely obvious, yet why are so many people misunderstanding it? In fact, hey, who knows, maybe I'm the one misunderstanding it. They're not really clear enough on what their intentions are. It would be appreciative if they did this, but so far, they have not responded to any of, even some of the fewer, smaller news groups like Go Nintendo. They would not respond to them. Okay, how are we going to know what to do if you won't give us the details or your intentions? I think we have the right to know that much, at least. If you're not going to pull back through with this. But really, it's going to come back to haunt them. And I know people are thinking of boycotting Nintendo, but I can't tell if... I mean, that's something nobody wants, but I don't think that would stop them regardless. Even if every single person in the Let's Play community, even though I'm not part of it, let's say I'm included too, would not bother buying a game, sales would drop a little bit, but not enough to say it's a big drop. We need to see what's wrong with it. They would just think, oh, it's just a normal drop. It happens, and shrug it off, move on. But it's not going to stop people from This is not going to stop people from getting games. So, to those who are making money off of Nintendo videos, if you better be prepared with the backup plan, and either switch to doing newer games that aren't Nintendo products, like me, who went with Persona 4. Then if I did Persona 3, yay! And if I did Naruto, I do want to do a Naruto game in the future. So and if I did a Naruto game on the PS2 that I have, yay! Or if I did Star Wars Battlefront 2, awesome! But I need to get the game again. You get what I mean? So to those that are pretty much SOL because of Nintendo's dick move, I'm sorry for you guys. I can't apologize in their stead. I just wish that you didn't have to deal with that, especially those that are living off the partnership. But really, money's money, and it's not like we're out to get Nintendo. Why would we? We would be the biggest hypocrites in the freaking gaming community. I hate Nintendo, but I'm going to play the fuck out of their games. That would be the biggest set of hypocrisy I have ever seen among the gaming community. And I've seen a lot of bad, stupid, hypocritical humor in my time of living so far. So, Nintendo, I would really suggest that you don't do this and pull back. It's not too late. You can learn from your mistakes, and it's nobody's real loss. I mean, it's not like we're gonna hate you even after you do this. Like fuck you, Nintendo. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna buy your games anymore because of what you did. I don't think any of us are gonna do that. And to those that actually would do that, you're a dumbass. As Adachi would put, I should add that in there, but I know I won't. But regardless, just all I can say to Nintendo is just seriously reconsider this. There are better ways of doing this. What this is really a terribly late knee-jerk reaction to the whole Let's Playing community since we got partnered, and there's no real benefit to actually getting this. It's like taking away your money. Is it really going to you? It's likely just going to go completely to the people who partnered the person. And if you're going to be that way, guess what we can do? There is a counter to that. We don't have, even if somebody's partnered, every single video they have will not get filled with money. Say I'm partnered, and I don't want any of my, let's say I don't want any of my update videos to be partnered. I don't have, or not to be partnered, to have ads. I can stop ads from playing on my videos. They don't have to be on there. So basically, if Nintendo's saying, yeah, we're going to be taking your money now, well, to that I say, I'm just going to disable ads then. I'm going to disable ads on my videos. So you won't be getting my money, and it's not going to me either. That's a knee-jerk reaction, but that's the only counter I could think of until they think otherwise. I'm confident, and I know my brother said this too, he's confident that they're going to eventually back out of this, but let's hope they do that before E3. Here's hoping. I mean, Nintendo did not address this issue at all at the Nintendo Direct. I mean, that's not something you want to talk about because you're supposed to talk about games. But nonetheless, I wish they would at least get down and discuss this with us sometime soon. Because really, it's going to hurt some people, and it's going to hurt them too. This is a double-edged sword, but they're clearly not aware of their own plans, counters to it. If you want to be a good argumenter, someone who's good at arguing or good at doing anything, you need to know your own flaws and how to counter them. And by counter them, I mean to back them up and have something to back. You know what I mean? If I'm weak to something, I want someone to cover for me, basically, or something to cover for me, that weakness, and make up for that weakness. Which, in Nintendo's case, they just said, let's think of something that'll work and get some quick money that we need, and go. At least that's what I'm thinking Nintendo's mindset is. So, anyway, that's pretty much all I can say. So tell me what you think of Nintendo's reaction, but don't be... Please, I've already at least informed you somewhat of the matter. You can ask some other people who have talked about the matter, but there are other people who might have talked about it, or there will be, like, there might have been people, some of your friends who might know. Try to ask people who are talking rationally and logically here, not that, oh my god, Nintendo's doing this, fuck you! I would strongly suggest that you steer clear away from those people. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but those people are a prime example of knee-jerk reactors, and those are not going to help you at all with trying to find a way around this situation. So, my best advice is just this kind of situation, and any kind of situation. Be calm, think rationally and logically, and you'll get there. You'll see. Anyway, tell me what you think of the whole Nintendo's logic, basically. Yeah, this is their Nintendo logic right here. They fucked up. Tell me what you think of their fuck up, and how it can compare to the other Microsoft and Sony's fuck up. Would this possibly be worse than what those two have done? I'm thinking yes, but that might be because I'm biased towards Nintendo. From a financial standpoint, I cannot tell you which one would have the worst drawback. And at least Sony got their head out of their asses and was able to say, you know what, let's not do it. People are saying it might be bad, and other companies and news places are saying that why this is a bad idea, and you know what, I agree with them. Let's back out. Maybe Nintendo will be like this, unlike the stubborn Microsoft. Nintendo, please be understandable like Sony, and don't be stubborn like Microsoft. I'm all for stubbornness, but this is not the time to be stubborn. I suggest that they stop, or it will come back to bite them in the ass. But, yeah. I'm done with that, so one last time, tell me what you think of all this. I already think it's bullshit, but you've heard my long-ass opinion. So, I'm all for opinions, and if you want to have a little discussion with me in the comments, feel free to. We could talk about some of the other stuff, and if you have any points to bring up, be it for or against this, feel free to put it. I'm all yours. I like to hear what some people think, be it they for or against it. Like that guy, I understand where he's coming from at least, but I think he was still being disrespectful to the people. So long as we all have a right to like and dislike, that never justifies the right to be disrespectful. Anyway, that's it, so until next time, stay gold.